Hey everyone, it's Aaron Farmer with mysugarfreejourney.com. Hope everyone's doing well this morning. Happy Monday morning to all of you who are watching. We came on a little bit late today. I apologize about that, but sometimes some things can't be avoided. So we're going to take a look at some new studies that have come out here lately on vitamin D. Um, So before we look at the positive things of vitamin D, I want to go over some of the symptoms of vitamin D deficiency. Fatigue, which is that's one of those general kind of all-purpose things that it's hard to nail down if it's vitamin D deficiency. But if you're feeling large amounts of fatigue, maybe look at your vitamin D levels. I should say that you should probably get your vitamin D levels checked. That was, again, one of the key things that we understood about COVID very early on, like in April or May of 2020. They did two big studies, one in somewhere in Louisiana and another one in another country. I forget where, that looked at the people who were dying from COVID, and there was a very clear correlation between vitamin D levels and your risk of dying from COVID. So the lower your vitamin D levels, the higher your risk of dying from COVID. It's one of the reasons why why COVID, especially there in the beginning, was so caused so many deaths in the African American community, because the darker your skin, the more difficult time you have converting sunlight into vitamin D. So if you're watching this, you have dark skin, I would recommend that you take vitamin D. It's not going to hurt you if you take too much, or I mean, if you take a ton, it might hurt you, but it probably won't. But you should, next time you go into the doctors and they're testing your cholesterol and all the other stuff that they check, make sure they're running a check on vitamin D, because it's a very easy and cheap supplement to take, or you can just go get it. I mean, you can literally stand in the sun for 15-20 minutes a day and probably get uh, enough vitamin D to get your levels back where they need to be. So fatigue, joint pain, hair loss, weight gain, depression, mood changes, bone loss, muscle cramps, all can be signs of vitamin D deficiency. So we're going to look at two studies that came out here pretty in the last 2-3 months. So first up, this is daily supplementation with 2,000 IUs of vitamin D slows the rate of telomere shortening, preserving telomere length equivalent to delaying around 3 years of biological aging over 4 years. That's so your telomeres are shortening slow enough, because the shorter your telomeres are, the faster you're aging. That's basically what that is. And and the telomeres are these protective DNA sequences that cap the ends of chromosomes and are critical for preventing genomic instability. Their shortening is closely linked to aging and increased susceptibility to chronic diseases. So the longer your telomeres, or anything that you can do to keep those telomeres long or to keep them from shrinking faster, is going to prevent you from aging faster. That's something we all want. And it looks like 2,000 IU of vitamin D per day will do that. Mechanistically, that was a tough word for me. Mechanistically, vitamin D may exert these anti-aging effects by increasing telomere activity, reducing DNA damage, and modulating inflammatory pathways via vitamin D receptor-dependent mechanisms. The VITAL telomere sub-study was a rigorous, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial that assessed telomere length in leukocytes from 1,054 adults aged 50 years and older over a 4-year period, maintaining serum vitamin D levels of 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter or microliter through daily supplementation is a reliable, evidence-based strategy to slow telomere shortening and potentially delay biological aging. That's how important it is for to keep your vitamin D levels up. In fact, I wonder what is the, let's check out, what is the difference in lifespan between whites and blacks? Because I bet you it's significant. There was a difference of about 3.6 years in life expectancy between black and white Americans. White men had a life expectancy of about 76 years, while black men had a life expectancy of about 72 years. So, not saying that's the only thing that's going on there, but high vitamin D levels, again, look to slow the rate of aging, according to the study. And the darker your skin, uh, the harder time you're going to have converting sunlight into vitamin D. So you're probably going to have to supplement. And I would encourage you to supplement your vitamin D. Everyone, it's one of those things, anyone can do it. It's really, vitamin D is incredibly cheap, and it doesn't hurt. My wife, for years, I think, the doctor put on her prescription vitamin D, and it was like 40,000 units that she takes, once a week. Which, if I was going to take it, I would, I would rather, take a little bit every day, like 2,000 or 3 or maybe 4,000 a day, rather than taking 40,000 once a week. But whatever, do what you want. Again, I use what's his name? Vinny Tortorich's Pure Vitamin Club vitamin D. It's the only vitamin D I've ever seen that's packed in olive oil instead of a seed oil. If anybody out there knows another brand that's not packed in a seed oil, I'd love to hear it. Let me know in the comments. But as far as I know, Pure Vitamin Club is the only vitamin D that's not packed in a seed oil. And vitamins, of course, A, D, E, and K, all are fat soluble. So if you're going to take them, they have to be in a fat. You can't just take it as a powder or whatever. They have to be in a fat for you to be able to absorb it. So vitamin D, according to the study, helps you age slower. Here's another study. Vitamin D supplementation was associated with 40% lower risk of dementia over a decade. That's a big deal. 40% lower risk of dementia. After 5 years, 84% of supplement users were dementia-free, compared to just 68% of non-users in a study of over 12,000 people. Vitamin D reduced dementia risk by 33% in adults with mild cognitive impairment, or ApoE4, a key genetic risk factor for neurodegenerative diseases. So that's one of those things that you can find out if you take a DNA test, what your ApoE expression is, and if you're ApoE4, your risk of getting neurodegenerative diseases is higher. And vitamin D might just help with that. Vitamin D isn't just a vitamin, it's a steroid hormone regulating over 2,000 genes critical for brain development, neuroplasticity, and inflammation control. Its roles include clearing amyloid beta plaques and tau buildup, boosting neuron survival via neotropic factors like BDNF, and enhancing brain connectivity, particularly when paired with exercise. It's no surprise then the higher vitamin D levels are associated with better cognition, larger hippocampal volume, and lower Alzheimer's risk. Multiple lines of evidence support this. More than 30 large studies have consistently linked low vitamin D levels to a 50 to 150% increased dementia risk. People genetically prone to low vitamin D, those with genetic variations affecting vitamin D production or metabolism, have a 54% higher dementia risk. In fact, let's look that up. What is the difference in risk of dementia between whites and blacks? Well, looks like there was an NIH study done. included 1,000 white participants across Alzheimer's disease centers. Of these, 27% Black and 36 white participants had dementia diagnosis. Despite having lower dementia prevalence, risk factors were more prevalent among Black participants. Black participants with dementia showed greater cognitive deficits, neuropsychiatric symptoms or severity, and functional dependence. So it looks like the rate of dementia is less in Blacks over whites, but Black participants with dementia had more dementia risk factors, as well as greater cognitive impairment and neuropsychiatric symptom severity than white participants. Well, it kind of blew my theory out of the water. Still, if you'd like to protect yourself from neurodegenerative, take vitamin D. It looks like that's a big deal. Or go out in the sun, go get some sun on your skin, and get that natural vitamin D from the sun. The vitamin D that you get from the sun, remember, can also lower your cholesterol levels because that's what's being converted into vitamin D. Your body is using cholesterol to convert sunlight into vitamin D. So if that's a concern for you, go out there and get some sun. So again, vitamin D it's an easy thing to supplement, and it looks like it's doing some really good things for your health. If you will let yourself, make sure you get tested, make sure that your vitamin D levels are kept at a high level. Consult with your doctors. But again, vitamin D is so cheap. It's so easy to come by. It's not going to hurt anything if you just take a vitamin D supplement every day. And again, the vitamin D that I use from purevitaminclub.com. And the reason I use it is the only vitamin D that I found is not packed in a seed oil. So try it out. I don't make any money from Pure Vitamin Club. I'm just telling you what I use. All right. I appreciate you guys listening. This is Aaron Farmer with mysugarfreejourney.com, and we will talk to you later.